Distinguished Toastmaster of Phoenix, Arizona. He is our wonderful new International Director for Region 10 for 2012 through 2014. We were lucky enough to get to have dinner with him last night. Ron got to spend all day with him. Ron's madly in love, just like we all are.
With you, darn it.
Don is a member of the Toastmaster International Board of Directors, and he's a working ambassador for TI. He works with the board to develop and support the policies and procedures that guide Toastmasters International. And professionally, he's a senior quality assurance engineer at General Dynamics, and he's been a Toastmaster for more than 15 years. He's a member of two clubs, Voices of Many and Think Tank, and he served District 3, which is in Arizona, as the district governor during 2002 through 2003. And he says that what he has learned in Toastmasters is taking full advantage of stage time. And since we're all big hams, we all understand that. So here he is taking advantage of stage time here in Los Angeles area. Please welcome up the wonderful Don Griffith, Distinguished Toastmaster, and our International Director for 2012-2014.
Madam District Governor, thank you so much for that introduction. And thank you all to everyone for the great welcome. Particular thanks to Linda, Joe, and Ron last night. The dinner she talked about was a working meeting. We were discussing what's going on in District 52. He's excited about it. I was excited to hear all the programs, to hear the excitement in the trio about what's going on, the achievements so far, the plans going forward, and the goals. My new lucky number, 6011. I'm going to start using that on my lotto tickets, and I'm hoping for a big payoff, and I know you are too. I also want to thank particularly Ron. Now, Ron has been taking me all over town. I came in early Thursday morning. He picked me up at the airport, and we went out to visit Outlook Amusements to get an idea of whether they want a club. And they're ready. They have 17 people pretty much ready to sign. So Monday, he's going to give them a call back, set up that demo meeting. We're going with that. I had a chance to visit today at the Getty. What an experience. I had never been to that museum before, but the people we talked to were very, very excited about Toastmasters. But you know what? They were very professional about it. They had some very interesting questions for us, and they weren't the normal questions that we get. It was questions that told me they were serious about what they wanted Toastmasters to be able to do for their people. They wanted to do it right. So that's another call that Ron's going to follow up on next week. I'm very excited about that prospect. I also had a chance to visit two of your clubs. What a treat. I always love to visit clubs. On Thursday, we went to see the Warner Brothers Club. Are they here? Warner Brothers is in the house. All right. And we had a great time. Thursday night, it was a long day, wasn't it, Ron? Thursday night, went to see the new club, Toastmasters for Leaders, and we had a wonderful meeting. Thank you. Thank you for everybody. So you've been very good to me. Toastmasters has been very good to me. 15 years ago, I joined Toastmasters. But I'm embarrassed to tell the rest of the story before that. Because I had a coworker who asked me to come to his meeting. Then it was called Voice of Motorola. It was a company club in Scottsdale, Arizona. And he was in my department at work. He asked me to go, and I said, oh, that's fine, but no, I'm busy. And I did that repeatedly. It took 15 years for me to get it. Okay, I'll go. And on the very first day, they did something in that club that they've never done since. And they've never done in any of the other clubs I've visited. Table topics was one question with people answering the same question. So you got a chance to think about it. Well, when you get a chance to think about it, it's easier, isn't it? And they got to the end of the list, and they were getting ready to transition to the next part of the meeting. And I raised my hand. Said, excuse me, could I try it? And they were a little confused because that just didn't happen. Guests didn't do that. Guests never wanted to do that. So they asked the question, and it was a question about tell your best fish story. You know, I got one this big, this big, this big. And I had one in mind that I had a chance to think about. I won the trophy. Now, 15 years of Toastmasters experience tells me I could have stood there and blabbered anything, and I would have won the trophy. I understand that now, I get it. But at the time, it made a big impression on me. Making a big impression on your guests, isn't that important? We've talked all evening about what we're going to do and all the things we want to accomplish. But ultimately, it comes down to having a quality experience for that new person who walks in the door. I hope your meetings are all as inviting as the one I went to. It wasn't perfect. I know that. No meeting is perfect. But make your meetings inviting. I am here as an ambassador to Toastmasters International. I bring greetings from President John Lau. Now I know John was here recently in the Valley. He was in the LA area. And I wasn't able to get out there, but I understand. Who was able to meet with John? If you were here, great. Was it fun?
Yeah.
John's been traveling all over the United States. He's been in New Orleans, Nashville, Boise. I wonder what he thought of Boise. But he came to Los Angeles and stopped by, and I understand you were very nice to him and you treated him well, and I'm sure he appreciates that. So, welcome to you from John Lau again. Hi there. John has an initiative. Have you heard about it? Have you heard John's idea? It's the one-and-one campaign. One member invites a friend. You invite one friend to join your club. Imagine what would happen if we did that. During the course of a year, I bring one of my friends, colleagues, family members, and they join my club. You heard it earlier. DTM, do the math. Do the math. If you did that, if each of you did that, how much bigger would your district be? It'd be twice as big. You'd meet all your goals. Those 60-11, you'd be looking at that in your rearview mirror. You would have it. Now, of course, we understand not everyone will be able to persuade someone. But if you try, if you ask, what's the worst thing they will say? They could be like me and they'd say no for 15 years. All right, I was a lost cause, but my friend kept at it. So don't give up. One and one. There's a hidden benefit to John's idea. It occurred to me recently. One of the issues that every district in the world deals with is retention. Every year we lose a lot of members. Now, we lose members for all kinds of reasons. They move away, they get married, they have kids, some unfortunately pass away, but some leave because they're not satisfied, some leave because they don't get a good experience in their club, some leave because Toastmasters isn't what they thought it was and they're not getting what they need. But if you take the time and the energy and the heart to invite a person, a friend, And that friend needs some encouragement. And they need to be persuaded. You can get out speech number 9, that persuasive speech, and get your friend to come to Toastmasters. If they join, you now have more of an investment in that club, don't you? You had to think about it. You had to say, well, why am I still in the club? Why would I invite my friend, my colleague? Well, I get this benefit and that benefit. I'm more confident. I'm learning skills. I'm learning every day, every week. You will be a more committed member. You will be more likely to stay. You won't be on the list of retention statistics if you get involved with inviting someone else. So John has a great idea, and it has a lot of merit. You've heard about some of the changes that Toastmasters has rolled out. Starting July 1st, we have a new Distinguished District program. How many of you have heard about the new Distinguished District program? Raise your hands. All right. Not everyone raised their hand. All right. That's, I guess, why I'm here. The Distinguished District program is, in my opinion, a been long in the making. We have a program now that is easier to understand, that's more aligned with membership and club performance. Here's how it works. It starts with the members. It always starts with the members, doesn't it? Members achieving what? Achieving their CCs, their ACs, going through the manuals, learning as they go. Clubs achieving by getting new members, by having trained officers. We have a word for this, a phrase. It's called DCP, the Distinguished Club Program. Now that's been around for a while. That's not new. What's new is that is now the heart of what makes a distinguished district. Because now the district is going to be graded on how many distinguished clubs do you have? And how many members do you have? And how many clubs do you have? 3 things to worry about. Members, clubs, and DCP. Members, clubs, DCP. That's right. It isn't complicated. And it is aligned with the area plan, which takes into account members, clubs, and DCP. And the division plan, which takes into account members, clubs, and DCP. All through the program, it has the same focus. So now, let's talk about DCP. Distinguished Club Program. How many of you have a club that is distinguished or better last year? Raise your hand. Wow, excellent. Excellent. Now there are a lot of clubs that could be distinguished if only they understood better, not only the counting system that is used, how many goals and so forth, but why? Why should you be distinguished? And it's about being part of a community. It starts with the member and it ends with the member, but in between, Toastmasters has a very wonderful, wide world of opportunity. And a lot of it happens outside of the club. You know that. You're here. I'm preaching to the choir. You are here. You understand there's more beyond the club. But if your district is anything like mine, I come from District 3 in Arizona, the entire state. I'm not used to having a district that's 10 miles from the next district. I'm not sure how to behave with that. I need to be told I have to drive 400 miles to get to the next district. We have approximately 80% of our members never go outside of the club. They come to their club meetings, they have good club meetings, and they're good Toastmasters. And there's nothing wrong with them not being involved, except they're not getting the full value of Toastmasters, are they? When I was on the campaign trail and talking, by the way, I apologize profusely to Linda for not remembering that we had met. She said I was in a fog. It's true. Roberta can attest. When you're on the campaign floor at the International Convention, it starts Sunday night at 6, and it ends the next Saturday at the business meeting. And it's non-stop table topics. I probably talked to 250 to 300 district leaders at that time. So Linda, I apologize. But I'm not going to forget you now because you and I have common lucky numbers. We both have that 60-11 common number. So we're like this. We have the opportunity in Toastmasters to explain to our members that 80%, and maybe in your district it's only 40% or 70%, but explain to them what are the possibilities. People asked me when I was campaigning, well, why do you want to be international director? And it's a really great question, and I did anticipate the question. I tell them, I've been in Toastmasters for 15 years. I want to get my money's worth. I'm paying good money in dues. Well, what do I mean by my money's worth? The Toastmaster program is organized to automatically provide leadership opportunities for you. Everything about the way we're organized is for that purpose. And oh, by the way, it has the dual advantage of when you do have leadership positions and they're filled by volunteers and they learn and they grow, you also achieve the district's goals, the international goals. You advance the program. It's really almost magical. Think about it. Everything you do in a club meeting, being the all-counter, that's a leadership role, right? How do you know that? There's documentation. It's in the Competent Leader Manual. It must be true. Everything you do in a club helps you to be a better leader. Being a district or being a club officer. Do you really think, honestly, that it takes 7 officers to manage 20 people? Sometimes the answer is, oh yeah. Yeah. But in general, you don't normally need 7 managers for a team of 20, normally. Now, I suppose there's exceptions, like U.S. government. And I work for the U.S. government indirectly. My company's a contractor. So I kid. But the 7 officer positions in a club are there for you to learn how to lead. Imagine Toastmasters with this entrance criteria. Yes, Mr. Griffith, I see your application here. It all looks in order. Before we accept you for membership, I'd like you to give your speech. You do have your speech ready, right? Speech? What speech? Oh, your audition speech. How many members would we have? There might be enough to fill 1 table at the conference tonight if we had that kind of rule. We don't do that to our members on speaking, do we? We say, come on in. You faint when you stand up to give the first word? All right, we'll give you some smelling salts and we'll help you. You already know how to speak clearly, but your grammar needs improvement. We can help with that. Come on in. But somehow when we get to leadership, we expect someone to know how to do it already. And that's not right. We're here to learn leadership, not to just be leaders. We're here to learn. So everything in Toastmasters is organized with that perspective. Being an area governor, it's a leadership volunteer opportunity. Being a division governor, leadership chance. Being a lieutenant governor, district governor. So when it came time for the campaign, I raised my hand and said, international director, that's there for me to learn how to be a leader. I'd like to do that. And here I am. Here I am. I am learning. I've learned a whole lot. And I have good mentors and helpers, just like you do in your clubs. So the leadership program is important. Getting members out of the club will be very helpful to them, not just to you. Encourage your members. Get out there. Get out of the club. See what's there. Whether it's going to a speech contest, being in a speech contest, being an assistant area governor, being on a committee doing some small thing, just get them involved. Pretty soon, they're going to be excited about being leaders. And that club will soon be distinguished because they'll have the energy, they'll have the drive. As I said earlier, my new lucky numbers, 60-11. 60 distinguished clubs and 11 net new clubs. That's strong. That's President's distinguished territory. And I'm very excited. I told the two clubs I visited yesterday, the Toastmasters for Leaders and Warner Brothers, I said, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to be watching over your shoulder for the rest of the year because I have a stake in your success. I want to see you successful. So I'm going to be watching and applauding from afar when you get a goal. When I see at the end of the year 6 goals, 7, all 10 with membership growth. But I won't stop there. Those are two clubs that I happen to have a personal connection with now, and that'll be exciting. But I'm going to be watching all of the districts, being very excited about this performance. And other districts, they have their own magic numbers. 60-11 is yours, and I'm very excited. You heard it already. You heard it already. You know what the goal is. You've got the number goal, and you have the chant. Are you ready to do it again? Yes. 3 times. President's distinguished. President's distinguished. President's distinguished.